ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition to the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast. I'm actually here and we're actually going to do a proper show. I realised last week it was just a 5 minutes where I explained what was happening, but dudes, I was so emotionally exhausted and physically exhausted last weekend. 5 minutes was all I could give you. I do apologise, but we are back this week. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, really good, man. Really good. Loads and loads to tell. But first, how are you?
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Really great. Arguing with Gabby about what the best Pokemon is.
Well, better than arguing about anything else. That sounds like in terms of conversations with Gabby, that sounds like a relatively trauma-free setting. At least I would hope so.
So go on then. You got stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I've had I've got loads to talk about. But firstly, very sadly, we had to put our cat down this week. We had to put down our cat called Hawkeye because she was losing weight. We've had her for sort of 16 years. She's had a good long life, bless her heart. And she was we came back from holiday. She wasn't really interested in any of her food, so we're thinking, oh, hang on, what's up here? This isn't great. And she decided, and I know she seemed to be losing weight as well. So we were very concerned and took her to the vet. She was 16, I think I might have said. We took her to the vet where where they weighed her. They said, yeah, her weight is alarmingly low. So they took some blood tests. And when they came back, they said she had something called stage N kidney failure, which doesn't sound nice, does it? And so she has. So what happened next was we took her in that night. We gave her our goodbye cuddles, took her in, and off she went to sleep. So there we are. No more cat. We're burying her in the back garden tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, poor Hawkeye. But there we are. That's the circle of life. So be it. She had a great time while she was with us. She was a great laugh. She was totally bonkers, and she was a real posh lady. She was a very posh cat. She was like, we always attributed a sort of Hyacinth Bucket voice to her. Because she was, because she was just came across as kind of prim and proper. Yeah. So anyway, bye cat. So that was one thing. Today has been an extraordinarily busy day, even by my hyperactive standards. We woke up this morning at 9 o'clock. Woke up this morning at about 9 o'clock. Crawled out of bed. Went and stuffed a couple of crumpets down me. Then I went and did the week's shopping. The moment we were back from the week's shopping, I got back at about 11:30, put all the shopping away, and then straight away it was time to go and go up to London. So went up to London, stuffed my face with a sandwich in the car, and we drove to my wife's parents, where we soon concentrate on where we as soon as we got there at about 1:30, my young eldest son and I drove into the Docklands to go to the Docklands in London to go to a Formula One exhibition, and it was really, really cool. It was fabulous. We had a real blast. So that was great. It was really exciting, really interesting. An awful lot of effort had gone into this. I had to pay £2.50 just for the privilege of putting my bag in storage because they didn't trust me to go around with it. But yeah, it's cool. And we just they had loads of really engaging. Loads of parts of cars, a couple of full-size cars. I didn't realise just how enormous Formula One cars are, but they're massive, man. And that they really are impressive machines. The detail in all these aerodynamics they have on them now is unreal. So that was really fun. That was great. And then we drove back. Went back to wife's parents, had a meal, bundled back home, and then I barely even went in the house before I went out again. It was a friend of mine's birthday in Canterbury, and they were having birthday drinks. So I wanted to go and go out with those people. So we did that. A friend of mine called Freya, and so that we did. Well, I did. Hannah, my darling wife, kindly took put our youngest to bed, and went off into Canterbury, had a beer, had a cranberry juice, and then bundled back here just in time to make the podcast. So yeah, I have not really stopped all day. So it's been a very, very busy one. One real highlight of the last couple of weeks has been a wonderful online friend of mine does crocheting. Is it crocheting or crocheting? I'm not sure which it's called. Probably crocheting. Crocheting. And she knitted a couple of cuddly toys for one of my kids and a little football for the other. She knitted a little mushroom, little cuddly character for my dear missus, and she knitted for me. It was a surprise, and I opened it to reveal a Tom Baker scarf. It's this massive, great thing. Hang on, I'm going to put the camera on and show it because it's so lovely. Here it is, massive, great thing. It is. It's the coolest. I absolutely love it. And so yeah, I've got this, and isn't that sweet?
That is really cool. That's a proper Doctor Who scarf. Such
a thoughtful gift. So right there, I think are the major happenings. I think that's pretty much everything. I've got it done a lot quicker than I thought I would. And I don't know, how have I been with the ers and the tonight, Richard?
Pretty good. You've just been blasting through, getting everything you want to talk about out in a clear and concise manner.
Who am I and what have I done with Tom?
I don't know. I assume that you got a friend of yours to give you a shock collar and just zap you whenever you did it.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah.
That
was a fun weekend.
That was. I've got. I did one boo-boo yesterday. I was talking to a group of my online friends, and one of them said at the start they were streaming, and I kind of took that as a cue to as far as I understand, we're probably going to have to be sensible to talk about this with this person some more. I understood that to mean, don't reveal anything that I wouldn't want my bosses and the executive principal, the chair of governors, people like that to hear. Don't say anything, daft that'll get me in trouble by putting it out online. But what I managed to do instead, and this won't surprise you, is I called one of the people in the chat who I know. I called them by their full name, not their handle. And
you doxed someone.
Is that what it's called?
You literally doxed someone on the stream.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what doxing is. Yeah.
What, when you give out someone's details against their will, hoping people are going to come after them?
Well, not always to go after them. No, it's just naming someone online is doxing.
Well,
and it's not illegal. Journalists have been doing it for decades before the internet even existed. Most newspapers print names and addresses, but It is frowned upon.
Right. Well, yeah, I did that by mistake and I got told off.
Yeah. I mean, you can get streams taken down for doing it, but
why
would you do that?
So, because somebody, one member of the group said their first name and I followed it up. I didn't mean to. All I said was, "Oh yeah, because you so rarely go by your full name." When I saw on my PayPal account, I thought, "Who's that?" Oh, and then I remembered, and then they just went, "Tom, shut the fuck up!" Or words to that effect.
I mean, James Sinclair that lives at 14 Padbury Drive, Kensington.
Didn't give that much information. Just said, but I did see their full name. And
5'7". Do you still have auburn hair?
No, it was not my finest. I groveled loads.
Dude, you can't.
I kissed that person's ass so badly I could taste their tonsils. Well, okay, I'm joking about that, obviously. But no, I groveled a lot. Yes, that was not a smart move from me. No.
Just do your trick with the coconut. That'll cheer him up.
Yeah, that was a fail, but never mind.
Oh, that was perfect, Tom.
Well, at least I haven't given any. Richard, tell me I haven't accidentally given any information like that. Too much information tonight. I haven't named a single name or handle or server or anything, have I?
No.
Good. Well, at least I can learn from my mistake.
I mean, you're allowed to promote other streamers, although be mindful of,
I don't know anything about streaming. I was a fish out of water. I haven't a clue what I'm doing, clearly.
Was he streaming on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, YouTube?
Not saying. Nice try. Was it a genuine question, or were you trying to catch?
No, it's a genuine question. I mean, that's not doxing someone saying, "Oh yes, I was on a."
I'll tell you that 1-to-1 when we're not streaming.
Okay.
Streaming's got me in enough trouble as it is for one weekend.
Okay. Anyway, so is that everything you wanted to talk about?
I am done, I'm pleased to say.
All right. Well, it sounds like a fun-filled day, a miserable week. I remember when my Esme died. It just absolutely devastated me.
Oh, it hurt massively on the day, but we're starting to see the lovely life that she had. I'm going to do. I've got a really good idea for my dear wife's Christmas present out of this. So yeah.
I shudder to think, but you're not going to stuff the cat, are you?
No, we're not. It's not taxidermy. No, we'll leave that to the first Paddington movie. Thanks.
Okay,
and the
good.
Natural History Museum. No, this is not. This is nothing so morbid.
Okay. All right. So yeah, high alert. So obviously, something really bad's happened in America.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that now.
Oh, are we going to?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this now. I'm referring to, of course, the 43 diseased monkeys that escaped from a research lab in South Carolina.
Oh, right. I think this has possibly been overshadowed by other events, but go on. Go for it. Tell us all about
it. This week, thanks to what can only be called prime human stupidity, 43 monkeys that are used for research as research subjects in laboratories and biogenics facilities escaped from a laboratory in South Carolina. The reason they escaped was the keeper, in a rare move of abject stupidity, left their cage door open.
Right.
So
that basic.
What?
I mean, yeah, that sounds to me like a case of you had one job.
Yeah, that's it. I'm, you just imagine them sitting there going like, "All right, Dave, listen, these monkeys they got diseases, they got all sorts of things that we've been doing to them. For fuck's sake, before you leave, what's the one thing you have to do? Shut the door, Dave. The bare minimum. And the next day comes in, and Dave's only left the door open.
Where? So how far had the monkeys managed to escape? Were they out of the facility?
Yeah, they're running around the town, Tom. They're on high alert. Rage-infected monkeys are taking over South Carolina.
Oh dear.
Nobody ever gets that reference. Am I literally the only person that's ever seen 28 Days Later?
No, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen 28 Days. In fact, I'm in a Blu-ray and DVD collectors Facebook group because I'm really geeky with that old technology with physical media. And it is a rare and sought after item. It's got very high prices. 28 days and 28 weeks later. They're not available.
28 weeks later was just shite. I didn't like that movie at all, but the first one was good.
I'm not sure I saw it. Yeah, I remember the first one. Yeah, it was really good.
Gabby's told me, yeah, they're not disease. They're not carrying anything super contagious, but they or any diseases at all. They were used for organ transplants and stuff like that. But still, they escaped from a biogenetics facility. There's a bit of clickbaiting for me. Sorry. But still, they escaped from a biogenics facility, which, is not good. They might have had diseases, and they escaped because somebody left a door open.
Yeah,
is the takeaway.
Well, that's not funny. It's pretty disastrous, but oh dearie me.
Rhesus macaques as well. One of the more cunninger of monkeys.
I mean, I wonder if there's a sense of. I don't. I'm probably wrong. I wonder if there's a sense of natural justice or a bit of karma about this for whatever they're trying to do to these animals.
South Carolina, I don't think, has a habitat that can support macaques, especially ones bred and raised in captivity. So, if they make it down to Florida, they'd be all right. They've got a colony of wild macaques living in Florida that escaped from a Tarzan movie production.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they can live in Florida.
That's clever of them.
I don't know. Was it clever, Tom, or did someone just leave a door open?
Well, they've done well to survive, bless them.
Florida's a very unique ecosystem. A lot of different animals can survive there. It's one of the only places on Earth you can get crocodiles and alligators.
Oh, okay. I wonder if. I wonder what's going to happen there. Speaking of nature, the BBC have just started a series called what is it? They started a series Asia. They've started a series called Asia. It's a wildlife. Another David Attenborough. He's still doing it. He's flipping nearly 100 and he's still doing this stuff.
Dude should just retire, man. If I was his age, I'd be like, I'm retiring a legend.
Well, good for him for still keeping at it. I think that's fabulous.
I don't know. He's got a bit morbid in his old age.
Has he?
I watched a documentary about whales he did recently, and he was like, this is a pilot whale. It will die. Its ancestors will die. All life will die.
Not exactly cheery, is it?
Oh, I suppose he's facing his own mortality right now.
Well, he will be soon, yes.
Dude's a legend, though. I mean, very few, conservationists have had the same impact he's had. Maybe Chris Packham, he's done well as well.
Yeah.
I do like a bit of Chris Packham. Although I don't at the same time. He gave a talk at the NEC once in Birmingham, and I queued for hours to get his autograph, and the fucker didn't even look at me. I did find out recently he's got autism as well, which explains that though. So
yeah, yes, he actually, that's totally correct. He does. He does indeed. Oh, fascinating. Oh, well, so I'm sorry about that with Chris Packer. That's not how you want it to go when you go to meet your hero, is it?
well, it wasn't as bad as when I met Terry Pratchett. That guy was a knobhead.
What happened then?
He basically just looked down his nose at me and treated me with contempt.
Can you be a bit more specific? I'm not doubting you. I'm just curious.
He was just really condescending. Like, I was like, oh, I'm a big... I was working at the hotel he was staying. And my boss had arranged for me to meet him because I got on with my boss. And he was like, oh, so you're a kitchen porter. Oh, just spend a lot of time washing dishes and stuff. And just really condescending.
Oh. What sort of person treats their fans like that?
I don't know. And that guy. I mean, he had Alzheimer's, so maybe he just wasn't with it.
How arrogant.
Hey, Rod.
Rod? What's up?
I was saying hi to Rod in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, God. What's going on in the chat? I haven't got the feed up.
No, just Rod said hi and Gabby's talking.
Gabby's always talking. What's she got to say tonight?
She's talking about how the monkeys didn't have diseases and not all of them escaped.
Well, what I don't quite get is how, even if a cage was open, how was the building open? How did they then get out of the building, I wonder?
Well, the cage was outside.
Ah.
They can climb.
That would be it then.
QED.
QED?
Yeah.
What
the
does
cage is outside.
What does QED actually stand for?
Quod erdum demonstratum.
Oh, so it's Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And me. Okay, this is a good guessing game. Say that again in Latin, please.
Quod erdum demonstratum.
Well, demonstratum will obviously will be something to do with demonstrated, like or as demonstrated. Does it mean basically, isn't it obvious? Or it clear,
no.
Demonstrated into a practice. It actually happened. You have to tell me. What does it mean?
That which was to be demonstrated is the exact translation.
That which is to be demonstrated.
Yeah, and in context, it's used to say something that proves that you were trying to prove. So I just used that out of context. So that didn't help.
Because it was... Excuse me. Oh, it's sneezy. That's better. Right. QED, because when I grew up, there was a program on very late at night called QED. And it was I don't know. I don't know exactly what the show was about generally. I just know that very recently, I watched an episode of it on YouTube. It was an episode that talked about what it would be like, or what the exact impact would be of a nuclear bomb hitting, just in terms of physics and science to start with, what would physically happen if a nuclear bomb went off above St. Paul's Cathedral, or if it hit St. Paul's Cathedral itself. And it was very detailed and scientific, very factual, wasn't emotive. And that was done in the early 80s, right at the evil empire era, Reagan stoking up the tensions as he did. And it was during, it was when England had sent out the Protect and Survive document. And yeah, very interesting. It backed up. It didn't back up. It was like it's now seen as a precursor to the film Threads, which recently had a big anniversary. Was it its 40th? It must have been the 40th anniversary of the film Threads, which is a low budget, which they worked wonders with. Low budget film done by the BBC and just broadcast on mainstream television in about 1984. And everyone was just like, you only had 4 channels to watch, and everyone was just like, what the fuck just happened? It's an incredible film. Have you seen Threads, Richard?
Threads? Yeah, you said it was the darkest movie you've ever seen.
It's up there with the darkest. It's up there with the likes of The Road, which is, but The Road finishes on a far happier note than bloody Threads. Threads finishes on a note which basically says the human race is about to die out, or it alludes to that.
Threads says, I mean, nuclear war. That's it. We're done.
And it's amazing how close we came. So I think I talked about watching Threads when I did watch it a few weeks ago. But yeah, QED was this British TV series. It was just very factual. And I don't know what they say. I don't know what the format of the whole thing was. I just remember that it was. See, when I was a kid, I knew it was something that I wasn't going to be able to understand, so I didn't pay any attention to it. But then watched this episode on YouTube after it came up in this is available on BBC iPlayer. There's about a 20-minute interview with the guy who did Threads, recalling it, talking about it. And he mentioned that this episode of QED that had, gone out and had really stuck in people's memories, and how it only really told the job, or from a very scientific point of view, it didn't completely ignore people, but it didn't do anything to really tell a story. And what Threads does is it tells the story, but then it does put every once in a while in the film it goes to just words printed on the screen that tell you there'll be a name for it. Well, words that appear in a film, they often appear right at the end and tell you. So if there's something based on a true story, the words come up at the end. Like Billy Lee Jenkins, one continued to fight for civil rights for people in his country for the rest of his career. He is now retired and lives happily in the countryside with his wife Judy and their 2 children. Also, that kind of thing. But these words appeared on the screen that would tell you, like, at this time, it's estimated that after 10 years, the population of Britain will have fallen to medieval levels, and then things like that. And then it shows you it happening. It's the remaining people.
It hit harder when you actual.
Go on.
When you can see it actually happening. I mean,
yeah, it's a masterpiece. It's a brilliant masterpiece. I've got a film to watch called The War Game, which I found on Blu-ray in a branch of CX, England's my favorite vaunted secondhand physical media shop. Does video games, often music, and do CDs again, and does films. And picked up this one, The War Game. It's about a nuclear bomb going off in Kent, and I think it was banned. It was banned for years, but it's done in set in the 1950s. I'm expecting a slightly more palatable version of Threads in black and white, basically. But I've got that to watch. This is why I love buying DVDs and stuff. It's got this massive, great book that came with it. There's loads and loads to read if I want to, but I'll probably watch the film first. Yeah.
Did you watch Civil War?
No, what's that?
There was a movie made last year. It might have even been this year.
Oh, yeah. Pennies dropped. Haven't seen it yet. No, it's.
You should watch it. It's really good.
That's it's America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll tell you what. No, I will. I think I'm pretty sure it's on my watch list because one of the things I do to keep up with films is I listen. Mark Kermode, a British film reviewer. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like the way he talks about things. And I always listen. Every Friday, he 3 or 4 here on his YouTube channel, Kermode and Mayo's Take. They review three or 4 films. Normally it's a Friday, and when they reviewed Civil War, I took note of that. Let me see if it made the list because I therefore keep a list on my phone of. Looks like I just had to switch my phone off. Oh yeah, I did because my phone was making all kinds of annoying alert noises. So yeah, that's why I switched it off.
I mean, you could have just put it on silent.
I would have been far too clever. But no, I switched it off. So I switched it back on, and we'll look at. Oh shit! What was I gonna look up on it?
Whether or not Civil War made the list.
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll look that up. Blimey, I can't believe it's like we've only been doing this for 32 minutes. It feels like we've been talking for ages.
Wow.
You're right.
Okay.
I must be getting to the point faster than usual.
Yeah, I mean, you're not umming and ahhing, so you take that out of the conversation, and suddenly it's a lot quicker.
Okay,
is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, let's see if I put this film on. No, I don't. I didn't, but I'm going to do it now. Oh, that's Gabby's sending me pictures.
She's a sweetheart, is our Gabby.
Yeah. Okay, so since I started doing this, here are the films on the list that I haven't seen yet, and most of these are from Kermode reviews. This is I've started this list probably about 3 years ago, maybe even less. For Three Musketeers, Return to Seoul, which I was bought on DVD and haven't watched yet. God's Creatures, The Beasts, Tetris, Blackberry, Cat Person, Fort Adam, Dance First, Past Lives, and again, I was bought Past Lives on DVD. Both of those were my last birthday present from each of my dear wife's sisters, and I'm looking forward to watching them. The Kitchen, The Iron Claw, My Fat Friend, Origin, Evil Does Not Exist, Monkey Man, Someone's Daughter, Someone's Son, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, Sky Pearls, Blink Twice, Speak No Evil, Amelia Perez, Heretic, Anora, and now Civil War. Heretic is I want to go and see that at the cinema because it's a horror film. It's just come out. It's a horror film called with Hugh Grant in it, and he's meant to be absolutely brilliant. And Mark Kermode says right now is actually the pinnacle of Hugh Grant's career. He is actually doing some really, really good stuff now, and it's great to see. So yeah. But yeah, so no, there wasn't anything else I wanted to talk about. I feel we've done a whole full show's worth in 35 minutes easily.
All right. Well, we can wrap things up now if you wish.
Well, I kind of do. We've done all right. Quit while we're ahead.
All right, fair enough. Well, that'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from Tom. Good night.
Night, everybody. Cool.